power. Coal power. Amazing. The first, like, self-sustainable power that we unlock, which is amazing. Amazing to see. So we have turned all of this right side on, but we actually have not turned this side on. And that's because last time in YouTube chat we had Mac, who is like a veteran of Satisfactory, and they mentioned that actually it's a good idea to turn all of the machines off until the miners that are mining this coal turn yellow on their light. So last time one of the miners, or two of the miners in this case, turned yellow. That meant that one of the sides was ready to be turned on completely, but it wasn't the case for the last one. So that will be the first step of today. And an additional detail is that this right side is only being supported by one miner at the moment, because we're waiting up until a point where we can blow up a rock that is preventing us from the other coal node here. As you can see, this rock. We'll be able to remove that and then have another coal node that we can make use of. And well, that means that we'll be able to support all 8 on this side as well later on. So for now, the first step is to simply just turn 4 of these machines on. It'll be loud for a moment. Here we go, that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And yeah. Let's see. So we can now check out this power pole here, and we see the capacity jump up a lot. But there are some additional things that we should be doing today as well that I think will be important. First of all, this might be the first step that we do, is underclocking to our whole factory. As you can see, we have a max consumption of 348, but our actual consumption is way lower than that. And that's because this line is turning on, like machines are turning on and off when they need to, and so on. We want to be fully efficient so we can rely more on the max consumption of our whole factory. So that will be our first step to underclock a bunch of machines. Not only will it reduce our current consumption drastically, but it will also significantly reduce the max consumption. And well, another thing that we want to do in the base is also to disconnect our biomass from the rest of the grid, because at this point we don't want to be burning biomass anymore. We don't need it, so why have it running? We would like to make use of it as like an emergency backup power source, but we want to keep the biomass biofuel in there because, well, we won't need it. These coal power generators should support our whole factory as it is alone, and yeah, if we need some additional, we'll just turn on the biomass burners, and that's it. So that will be our very first step of today. Well, maybe we might see what Roger has. Just cable. Okay, I mean, cable is fine. A little disappointing, Roger. You could have done better than that, but oh well. Something that we also want to see is, I think it's in sulfur, is this. So we'll need steel for that, and then we'll need sulfur at some point as well. Okay, that's fine. So in terms of this, as you can see, we have like a bunch of wood already just waiting here, but let's disconnect. I don't know if they'll be running, but yeah, simply what we will do is we will disconnect this pole here. Oh, actually we can keep all of this, that's fine, but we'll disconnect here. And there we go. Now this is just sitting idly. I wonder if these are still gonna be doing things. Yeah, now we have the local capacity and local consumption of this. So we actually do have some consumption. And I wonder, that might just be like a tiny bit of idle consumption that they always do. I'm not certain. But at the end of the day, it's such little consumption that I'm not so worried about it. So then, as we talked about, we want to look into underclocking as well. I wonder if... okay. I wonder if I can just take a single one of you. I mean, it's fine to take the whole stack, I guess. So for that we'll need a power shard, just a single one. And then we go to the map. We look at power slugs. What else would we need? We have everything else that we would need for this. Great. So what's good about this is that, well, first we'll hear what Ada has to say.
Overclocking development completed. Power shards can now be inserted into all buildings to increase input and output speed. Underclocking is also possible. Note: power consumption of overclocked buildings increases exponentially.
So this exponential increase also works when you underclock. It has significantly less consumption also. And at the moment you need power shards to be able to overclock, but you don't need them to underclock. So now let's consider all of our machines. So this one is taking in at max 120 biomass per minute. This is a Mark II belt, this is a Mark I belt, but this one will only be able to make that. This is also a Mark II belt. So yeah, it's taking in exactly what it needs. That's perfectly fine. However, the biomass, we see that it's creating 300 per minute, and even with the belt alone we can only support 120, and even then this only needs 120 at maximum efficiency. So, and what's very nice, another quality of life feature, is that sure, you have this slider that you can use, but you can actually adjust these numbers as well. So we know that we'll want optimally 120 per minute of biomass. So let's just change this number to 120, and there we go. Underclock to 40%. You might not be able to see fully the effect of this, because I think it's on idle pretty much, so it's not really gonna do much at the moment. But yeah, that will be power savings generally, which is great. And yeah, it's a good start to our underclocking, but we want to underclock a bunch more, especially around this area. As you can see, we have a lot of yellow lights here. This means that either they're backed up, which they are in this case. We have full containers, but still, we'll want to. And we have this weird bug with the camera sound. So here we are taking in 15. Okay, and well, that is fine. That's working as intended. So nothing there really that can be adjusted, because we know a smelter is creating 30. This is being split from one smelter output into two. So this one is creating from 15, and this one is from 15. Right, it is 30, right? I just want to make sure. Yeah, it is. So, no underclocking necessary here. But let's consider screws then. So, you are producing 15 rods per minute. And you're taking in 10 per minute. So, actually, what this means is that this one needs to be producing 10 10 iron rods per minute. Okay, so actually we do need to adjust this. Oh, let's try again. Oh, okay. I guess when I move the mouse, okay, when I hover over something, it just undoes the selection. So let's reduce this to 10. Perfect. So now we're producing. Why can I not escape out of this? Okay. Now we are producing only 10 rods per minute, which is exactly what we'll need for this to be working at full. Great, that is a good first step. But what this means is that now the smelter is actually producing too little. And, oh god, this actually does make things significantly more complicated than I want it to be. But since this is like a kind of small manifold setup, I don't think it matters that much. Essentially the splitter splits equally, right? So if we're producing the 25 that we'll need from the smelter into these, well then one of these will be receiving too much until they get filled up, which they are already. So it's actually fine in this scenario. So let's go to the smelter here, and we want to reduce you to 25 per minute. Okay, good, like that. Perfect. So now we have those set up to be working fully efficiently, I would think. What we can do is let's get rid of some things in our inventory because we have a lot going on in there. Especially power slug we don't need. Portable miners we don't need at the moment. Rotors we have a lot of. Remains we don't need. We have some leaves, we have some wood. Let's just chuck the leaves into here and the wood into here. The biofuel looks so much like wood, it's a bit dangerous, but yeah. Now, yeah, it's just gonna be filling up, but it's not really gonna be working. This has not changed. Okay. Let's see here. We're getting so full of concrete already, it's very nice. These are working. Let's add rotors in here just because, or for cleanliness purposes, I guess. And reinforced plates here. So, okay. We essentially have this set up already because you are taking 30, right? Yeah. So that's fine. One smelter is making 30 anyway. Okay. But what we can do is simply just take out a few things from these containers and see how they start working these machines. And we should see like a fully green light on all of them over time. And yeah, that essentially just means 100% efficiency, which is what we want to see. And it means that these lines get significantly reduced. As you can see, we already have a reduction here. Very nice. But we have more to do. And well, we just want to start from the very end of things, I think. So let's see here. So we should be taking 100 screws at best, but clearly we're not taking in 100 screws because first of all, this is a Mark 1 belt. only gonna be able to support 60 at max, and there are still, as you can see, breaks in between each. So we know that we cannot take in 100. Likely it's creating 50, 40 actually, like the other one. Okay, so 40 screws. Okay, but how many rods are we producing? That's the big question. I think we're producing way more rods than that. Yeah. That are going straight in. So what we might want to see is this line slightly improved. Actually, we can double the amount of rods going in quite easily. And then, because we'll only need like what, 20 rods, yeah. So we can have 2 of these machines, sure, producing 10 each. That could work. So, and then you would be taking in 30, let's say. That means triple, which means more than we can actually support. Let's get it up to 100, I guess, instead. But yeah, this would be much better for things. So let's at least do that. We'll want a merger. I think it's also good always to just check in on things, like how they're doing, and if what you did initially was actually good. And as we can see here, it wasn't, right? So let's then put you in here. Okay, and you in here. Great. So each of you are producing 15, which is more than we should be creating at this point anyway. But I mean, what's nice is that we needed more rotors, so it's perfect to have. Let's also, I know that we can lock the hologram, and then we can nudge it into space like this, which is what we want to see. But this is not what we want to see. We can fix this though. Okay. At least I believe that we can. So let's do that. Logistics, conveyor belt. Oh. Yeah, you're not doing anything bad. Good. So let's do it like this, and then like this. Okay, looking better. Good. So you two are leading into there. Good. So we need to consider what our backlog will be. We also have cast screws, but we have already set this up for the regular screw recipe, so we won't deal with that at the moment. Okay, good. So now we should just power it on, and we should be good to go. Perfect. I did not connect here, so let's also do that. Okay, good. So now we should be able to significantly increase the amount of rotors that we're creating, which is amazing, because screws were our previous backlog, or bottleneck rather. Okay, so doubling the amount of rods that goes in again. But let's consider this. So we are putting in 30 rods. So in that world we should be seeing this belt being filled up completely all the time, right? But we are not seeing that. So why is that? I wonder why that is, actually. But oh, hello, Garden Elf. Nice to see you. I'm just I just started. I'm doing a bit of math, underclocking and increasing efficiency in the machines. You're not a bit late. We started 25 minutes ago, so maybe just a bit late, but it's all good, all good. I'm trying to consider why this is not working as expected. Oh, it's because it's at maximum gonna be able to output 40 per minute. That's why I'm just not looking at the numbers correctly. Yeah, that is and that is why it was set up the way that it was before. Okay. Oh well. That is fine. As you can see, we still have so many rods compared to screws. Screws will be the major issue here. But yeah, I'm essentially just trying to do the math for each machine to make sure that they are working as much as possible without turning on and off all the time. Essentially making this graph even, like the blue one, right? I am already out and about indeed. I also turned on the remaining quarter of the coal power plant that we didn't turn on last time. So yeah, it is looking good. So let's consider how many rods. We're producing more than enough rods anyway. Good. So, but the amount of screws is the issue. So I believe if I'm doing quick maths, we should just set this to 40%. So we should be producing 8 rods per minute, which means each of these should be producing just 4, essentially. Very, very little. Okay. Good. That is a good starting point. Oh yes, no problem, Garden Elf. I understand. Work is work after all. So do what you need to. Okay. That means this one should just be running at 100%. This one is, see now, only consuming 4.5 megawatts, which is a lot less. What does it take? 15, right? So we just significantly reduced the amount of consumption. And we also made sure that it kind of just runs constantly when these are not backed up in the future, that is. So yeah, that's a good start. Now we have that. I wonder why you don't really have to set it this way. Oh well, it's fine. So yes, so these are producing 4 per minute, which is great. That's what we want to see. But now this means that they should only be taking in 4 ingots each. So this should be producing a total of 8. Actually, something we didn't consider here also, something that's important, is the miner. Because now this guy is producing less iron ingots, which means that this miner is mining too many ingots. So let's put you to 55. 30 plus 25. Okay, good. So yeah, now we have this. It's still a bit backed up, and that's probably from the miner before. Oh, nice. I'm happy to hear. I was wondering if it was you actually, because I have very few people going in and watching. So I appreciate it. And yeah, I think Satisfactory is super fun. So you should definitely give it a spin yourself. I can only recommend it. So yes, I would say go for it, definitely. Okay, so now this means that we should only actually be sending in 15 rods. Okay, so this means we can simply just halve. No, wait. We should only be sending in 10 rods. Yeah, so they should be producing 5 each. I understand that we are underclocking a bunch here, and the ideal scenario is actually to just build more machines and like try to make sure that this assembler is working at 100%. But for now, this is how we'll do it in the main factory that we have by our hub, and then in the future we'll do different things. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I mean, you are free to watch them in whatever order makes sense. Generally what means the most is that you're just watching and being there. And, well, what I see is that someone is also going straight from notifications to watch my videos. And my thought was that maybe it's you who's doing that. I have that kind of statistics, those kinds of statistics. Yes. Well, yeah, I mean, it means a lot to me that that you do that, because, well, I'm also trying to build this thing flying straight through the space elevator. I am trying to build an audience, right? So any watching of the things matters a lot, both for me generally and also for the algorithm to push things to other people additionally. Okay, so we have this now, meaning that we're pumping in 10 iron rods. Okay, good. Perfect, I'm happy to hear. Yeah, for some reason the shorts are being pushed kind of weirdly to people, I would say. Like, Roger was not at all pushed on people's short feed, which is sad compared to the rest of my short videos. And, well, I want Roger to be a bit of a celebrity, you know. He's an important character in this world. Okay, good. So let's just want to go over things again. So you're producing 4, because you need 8, yes. And you're producing 40, which is good. Perfect. And then you're producing 5, you're producing 5, yes. You're producing 4. I mean, it's significant underclocking of everything. It feels a bit wasteful, to be honest. This means that you need to make 8. Okay, good. Then you need to make 10. Perfect. And then this means that you need to make 18. So my idea is that in the future we'll have these kinds of factories elsewhere, where we'll have a lot more space to work with, and splitting up things, because this is like very limited space generally here. So yes, I could kind of do that, add it to my CV. It is a lot of logic, a lot of math, a lot of things working efficiently, optimizing. It's similar to programming in a lot of ways, so it could definitely be considered. Well, that means that we have solved these two lines now, actually. And we might be able to tell. It's still not very straight. But consumption has gone from 300 and max consumption has gone from 308 to 269, which is very